What's up, Bronco Nation, and welcome to this Champions edition of the Bronco Country Roundup. I'm Evan Sanford. I am joined by Carter Davis, Chase Glorfield, and our man on the blue, Chris Van Sickle, who I don't know if you just saw that brand new footage for our intro, but that man captured all of that. Shout out to Chris for being there on the blue all season long, capturing that sideline footage, giving us that beautiful intro. He was there today, and we'll have a little bit of conversation about that with the CFP, all that good stuff. What a day, what a weekend it has been for our Broncos. And I know I am still gushing. If you joined us in the live stream, my heart rate has not stopped since that. Like, I have been on the same high since this entire weekend. What a great time it has been.
I woke everyone in my house up yelling during our live stream on Friday night.
Oh, I bet.
That was worth it.
Worth it. Totally worth it.
It was such a good time, which, by the way, viewers who did join us, thank you so much. We've never had that well attended of a live stream. We didn't know how many people we would get with all the bedlam, the chaos that was going on, and y'all wanted it, and it was great.
Some good banter, some good comments. It was fun.
Yeah. So please, in the future, like we're gonna continue to do this. So heck yeah, like jump in, comment. It was great. So today, our topics are the things that we're going to discuss. We've got a little housekeeping to talk about because we had early signing day that went as planned, if not a little bit better for Boise State with the Chase Hatch commit.
Mm-hmm.
We also landed the punter from down under, or another one from Australia, who, as I was saying that, I literally forgot his name. I had his name in the back of my head.
Roland Podesta, wasn't it?
Thank you for the save. So we signed all the commits that we expected to sign and got a couple extras. So that was pretty awesome. Transfer portal opens tomorrow, and Spencer Danielson has said that he expects the core roster to remain intact. And that general rule of thumb for all fans is expect around 10, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, something like that for just every team. That's just the way it goes. Right now, we have 3 known losses to the transfer portal. That's Caden Dudley, Gabe Tahir, and Deontay Thornton. And we wish them all the best, and Bronco Nation should wish them all the best. Moving on, I'll move on real quick, unless there's any other names that I've not been made aware of.
No, but expect to hear more over the next few days.
Yeah.
So, for sure.
So yeah, the transfer portal giveth, the transfer portal taketh away. So we should see some movement, and we should see guys even committing to the blue. So that could be pretty fun. Moving forward, though, we've got some head coaching stuff. So who wants to take the big headline of the day? Does our king of Schadenfreude want to take that one?
Absolutely, I do. Absolutely, because I didn't think a day could be better than Friday until today, because we got the 3 seed, we got the bye, but then thankfully Barry Odom decided that he was tired of the so-called great city of Las Vegas, and he went to Purdue, and I have been loving it. I have been looking at Rebel fan forums, them yelling at him about, you said stuff about loyalty. There's a specific person we will not mention that I very much have enjoyed watching.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, I say I'm the king of this. Schadenfreude, I don't even remember how to pronounce it. I very much mean it. I had more joy today than I think I have had in a long while besides the game on Friday. It was just so sweet because I've been so tired of people yapping about how UNLV is coming up and they hit that glass ceiling and Barry Odom's gone.
They hit the blue ceiling.
They hit the blue ceiling, exactly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's it. So I've had a good weekend.
It's been so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. An interesting element of that is signing day was Wednesday. Literally 5 days later, their head coach who signed what currently is ranked the number 1 class in 24/7 sports, he's gone.
Yep.
So I don't know. Those kids are stuck. The school could do the right thing and let some of them out of that whatever commitment.
Yeah, I believe the player can request to be released from it, can't they?
I think if a coach leaves, you can do that.
Some schools throw fits about it, but for the most, I remember Boise State's done that a few times. They've done a good job letting people go, for whatever reason. And
I mean, if a kid doesn't want to be there, you're gonna you're gonna force him. No, you will get Stockholm syndrome, and you will
stay here.
You will
stay at UNLV.
Purdue guys, I don't know.
Honestly, I think it's
that's
more
that
of
Big Ten money.
I think it's more of an indictment on the future of the Mountain West Conference. Like you saw Bronco Mendenhall jump ship from he pulled New Mexico off of life support just so he could go to Utah State, who's going to the Pac. You see Odom go to not a great job at Purdue. Just is the best opportunity for him because the Mountain West is about to be a zombie conference.
Exactly. And I think I heard reports today. I don't know if these are solid or not, but I saw some reports today that said that they've been talking before the Mountain West Championship game.
Not shocked.
Going into this, he already knew that he was kind of leaving. So how close to signing day was he talking to Purdue? The day of, the day after, all of a sudden, going into the game, he's thinking about
those kids he was signing, right? What was he telling those kids he was
signing? Exactly.
Yeah. That's the dirty side of college football, right?
And I think that's why so many fans were upset because they're like, he said he wanted to build a legacy. He said this, he said that. Gone in 2 years, really didn't bring any sort of hardware to UNLV, some national attention. But honestly, every big game he had, it fell apart. So I think UNLV fans are a little more upset than maybe a regular fan base would be.
Yeah. I mean, at least Kalen DeBoer brought Fresno State Mountain West Championship, right? The 21 or 22.
Yeah.
But
it is what it is. Thank you, Barry Odom, for making me happy today.
Well, and I've always said teams, generally speaking, either progress or regress to their mean, their average, right?
That's a far way to fall.
Yeah, and maybe Odom left some good things there, and the momentum is there. But history showed us that teams that traditionally are not very good will not be very good even after some success. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
they're gonna really regret doubling down on the Mountain West.
I think so.
Yeah, big time.
In other coaching news, it's a bit of a rumor, but a rumor that I found absolutely hilarious is Brian Harsin has emerged as a candidate for the offensive coordinator job at Cal Berkeley, which would reunite him with Justin Wilcox, the former Boise State defensive coordinator, now head coach over there. And just Brian Harsin to Berkeley. Viewers, just what do you think? Is that not a match made in heaven?
That's
for our entertainment, yes.
Nothing screams Berkeley like Brian Harsin. His Twitter feed, if you look at it, that man would fit in perfectly.
He doesn't have to get along with the students, right?
Yeah.
So you just got to coach the offense.
Pull up in his offense and call a good offensive plays.
Yeah.
Right?
Although, when has he ever gotten along with the students?
Yeah.
Well,
or the media, or
if Berkeley really wanted to be funny, they could hire Nick Rolovich as their defensive coordinator. Just full spectrum swing to the other side. Let's just see what happens. Let's shake it up.
Oh no. Okay. Viewers, please do not get unhinged in the comments over this. It's funny, but maybe we just don't touch this one.
No, I don't know, man. It's pretty funny.
It's pretty funny.
Hey, comments to comment. Let's hear it, guys.
Let him Listen, he's from Dale City. All right, that's pretty close to San Francisco. I bet he's got some tendencies in him. Let Nick in. Let Brian Harsin and Nick take the Cal Bears to the playoff.
Oh my goodness! All right. So our other two main topics today are, of course, a recap of the UNLV beatdown, the dismantling on a beautiful foggy night in Boise, a night that was almost built for a Bronco win, and not just a Bronco win, a Bronco slugfest. You couldn't throw the deep ball. The air was too soupy, so it had to be ground and pound, grind that sucker out, and the Broncos did just that, and it was so so beautiful. But our man on the blue, Chris, he was there. He got to experience it, and Carter was there. And these two men had two very different experiences. So real quick, Chris, we already talked about it on the live stream. So real quick, Chris, I want you to talk about your experience there, and then Carter, just give us the deets.
Of course.
Okay, Chris, go ahead.
It was obviously an amazing night. You're totally right about the weather. Perfect football weather. In that second half, I think catching the football probably felt like trying to catch a boulder. It was ugly and cold and just beautiful for Ashton Genty to run and stiff arm, and it was great.
Exact type of weather you want a hot weather team to come play in.
Absolutely.
Exactly. It was beautiful. Atmosphere was amazing. I think the only tickets that weren't sold were probably the ones given to the UNLV fans, because it was
all 10 of them.
Yeah.
There are literally dozens of us.
There was some up in the corner, maybe 2 rows worth, and then they had the band. But unbelievable night, unbelievable experience. I'll never forget it. First time I've ever been on the field was when they rushed the field. A little claustrophobic, don't love being in big groups, so that was kind of a tense moment there.
Is it just me, or did we lose Chris?
I think lots of fun. I went home, stayed up.
Hey, Chris, we're kind of losing you.
Now?
You're a little delayed.
Back.
Yeah. Sorry for the technical difficulties, viewers.
How about now?
I think you were back. So
there
go
you
ahead and finish your thought.
Am I back? Sorry, guys. I'm not sure what happened there. Yeah, I went home. Sounds like Carter had stayed up and had a little more fun.
Yeah, I did not go home. I was there for quite a long time. So we'll back it up. Just talking about the game, I think that's the loudest I've ever heard Albertson Stadium. When Ashton Genty broke off for that touchdown, I mean, it was absolute pandemonium.
I thought the loudest, real quick, I'll just put my 2 cents in there, was the 4th down on goal that UNLV had. The south end zone, which I believe is where you sit. You guys killed it. I was on the other end of the field, and my ears were hurting. It was awesome.
I think that was the loudest moment, but the loudest pop, because that classic. The second, that was the loudest pop I've ever heard, because just the second he got past that linebacker, everybody freaked out. It was amazing. The 4th and goal, that was amazing.
It was great.
I'll fast forward a little bit. Towards the end, I got a little scared because for some reason the Bronco offense just decided to stop working. I think they were really looking to drain clock more, but when it was obvious that we were going to win, I ditched my parents, because I go to the games with my parents, and I apologize for them. Oh, here it is.
Here's the pop that he was talking about. I got rid of the sound, but this is what.
I mean, right. I mean, look at all the people in the background. Like, everybody's jumping for joy. And then right here, it gets somehow even louder. Like, it was probably one of the best moments I've ever had.
Middle, that was great in the background.
So towards the end, with about a few minutes left, I go down to the gate of the south end zone, and there's these kids there, and I got a little emotional because I was like, they're experiencing something amazing that I didn't get to experience as a kid. So this will be a core memory for them. This is awesome. Me and my buddy rush the field. I run into Roger Carrion. Me and him start freaking out with each other. I run into Mason Randolph. I think I got some of his blood on my hand. All of a sudden, there was blood on my hand. I don't know how that happened.
I'll never wash this hand again.
I was kind of like, this kind of gross, but I didn't touch it for a while because
Biohazard.
Yeah, I ran into who else did I run into? I think I ran into one of the Steele brothers.
I dabbed up pretty strong.
Nice, attaboy.
Yeah.
I sat there in the crowd for the trophy ceremony, and I just happened to be right at the police line while they were letting players go by to the locker room. So I was high-fiving every player I could, and all of them were smiling like idiots. It was amazing. It was even better than the usual the high fives they do, because they didn't care. They were talking like college kids. I was not talking like, but I was encouraging him. I was like, "Yeah, you did. Hell yeah!" And then I was there for the goalpost when they tore it down. I didn't think it was gonna come down.
It took a long time.
It took a long time. I legit thought that it was not going to come down.
15 minutes, 20 minutes, I'd say.
Absolutely. Because
it didn't really get bent.
I don't know how they got the goalposts off and left the bottom bar. I don't know how they did that because I got kicked off the field. Like security, after it fell, they like ushered people off. I was like, okay, well, at least we got it down. I get out of the stadium. All of a sudden, there's this big crowd by the river. I don't know how it got past me, but the goalpost is already in the river. So I'm like, well, I have to go to the river. I have to. And so I took a Snapchat video. I was freaking out. This I'm not so happy about because there was some liquid encouragement through all of this. And that doesn't make your performance that good. And so I slipped and fell. And I bruised the hell out of my left calf. The bruise is legit like this big. It's the size of my face. It is massive. I don't know how I got it. There's another bruise on the inside of my right leg. There's another bruise on the inside of my right elbow. Me and my buddy that went to the game with me, I was talking to him the next day. I was like, how did you and I end up more bruised than some of the players who actually played in the game? Because he has a bruise even bigger than mine on his thigh, and he doesn't know how it happened. So it was just... Oh, damn.
And we were having technical difficulties.
I don't know. I know. This is embarrassing.
Oh.
Well,
Okay.
I just want to say,
There we go.
Bronco Nation. Oh, go ahead.
No, so I was just going to say, best night I've ever had as a Bronco fan. I've always wanted to rush the field. I've always wanted to have that moment that I see on TV, and I got to do it. I saw the players. It was legit the best time I've ever had.
Yeah. And just kudos to the students. Like, good job. Yeah. You guys showed up. Like, it's winter break over there. You sold out and then rushed in the field. Like, the students, like, that's what sets apart, like, the band and the students. That's what sets apart the college crowd, the college atmosphere, and the NFL. Like, it is elite. There's so much more just extra juice there. And tearing down the goalposts, like, that is, I don't know. That's freaking awesome. They threw one off the Friendship Bridge, and then the other one got walked into the river like it's being baptized or something. It like that goalpost died for our sins.
Yes, it did. I heard rumors that it was talking a lot of smack before the game, so it had to be drowned.
It was talking smack.
It was talking a lot. It had to be drowned.
And we didn't take the other one. We didn't take the other one because that one rejected the UNLV kick.
He deserved to stay.
It was a good one. It's funny.
So
there it is.
Yeah.
If you've been following kind of activity on Twitter, Dickie's talked about how, we're going to try and fish one of those out. I think the other one's already been fished. He's been talking about the goalpost a lot.
Yeah. And some people were talking about arresting people, arresting students. There's people on Facebook, I think.
Yeah.
It's
boomers.
Yeah. For legal liability, I never touched the goalpost.
Attaboy.
I never touched it. I just enjoyed it. So you can't get me.
Yeah. But they did say, like, they were already planning to replace the goalpost this offseason, I believe. And so they're already bought and paid for. So they just have to find them and get them done before the Potato Bowl kicks off on
I forgot about the Potato Bowl.
I know.
Fresno and
Northern Illinois, they have to play with one field goal.
On the other side of the field.
Yeah.
That's
so they have to get that replaced by, what is it, December 14th? Is that when the game is? Or the 15th?
There's no
something like that.
Oh, geez.
Probably had a crew in there today.
I'm sure they did.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
It's the 23rd, so they got some days.
Oh, okay, good.
Still, they got to get out the concrete, I'm assuming. They got to do a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
But, best time of my life as a Broncos, watching all that.
Well, real quick, before we get to the meat and potatoes of today's segment, which is the CFP, normally, viewers, we do a good, bad, ugly. We didn't even, like, talk about doing a good, bad, ugly because that was such a beautiful game. Yep. I don't think, like, we didn't even talk about doing game balls because what a team effort. Like, and watch, here goes Maddox on just this crazy broken play touchdown. That was supposed to be an RPO where he kept it when he should have given it to Ashton, and he turns it into a touchdown.
This was an absolute dime.
I think the best throw he's ever had.
Ever. That was an NFL throw right there.
Yeah.
That was unbelievable.
Anticipation, the spot.
Yeah.
He
What we
was
got going on here?
Maddox was
louder.
on.
Oh yeah.
That
Yeah.
was gorgeous.
Yeah, I mean, Maddox is really the guy that we needed to step up in these games, and that's exactly what he did. That's how you win championships, is quarterbacks playing better than kind of their level.
And you know what? In the second half, people will say, like, oh, they took their foot off the gas. No, they didn't. Their objective changed. A 21-point spread in a game like that, on a night like that, where as the night progressed, it got harder and harder to throw the ball, to catch the ball. Like Maddox, it sailed on him a couple times. There were a couple near misses there that probably should have been picked and all that, but that's all well and good now. But like, it got harder to throw the ball. Haj Malik Williams was horrible throwing the ball.
He did not handle at all. He
knows where Boise is now.
Well,
Yeah.
He knows now.
And as you said, the pressure he faced, he never got comfortable.
No.
Never got comfortable, never got a chance to settle in. And then when it got cold and not only were people catching boulders, he was trying to throw the boulder. Like it just
didn't work.
Never got himself settled.
Yeah, I don't think it's ugly at all, the second half of the Bronco offense. I think the objective changed. Let's grind this out. Let's end this. Let's play field position. Let's play time of possession football. And let's see if we can maybe tack on a field goal or two. They almost had one, I think, was a holding call knocked us, or no, a sack. There was some, I can't remember. There was something.
Yeah, I think he got sacked way far back to the point it took him out.
Yeah.
So that was the one real bummer of the second half. But otherwise, like that's what the objective became. Let's just
even with that, it never felt like it was in danger.
No, not really.
Yeah, that's what was different, is that we were only up by 14, but it's just the vibe of the stadium. It's like it doesn't matter.
And I just remembered, I did actually, like Ashton Genty obviously gets the forever game ball. I will give another game ball to Roger Carrion. I'll give a game for being an amazing right guard. I'll give another game ball to Maddox Madsen and Matt Lauder. They were studs. Defense, my first game ball, my boy right here.
Yeah.
Shea Oladipo.
Yeah.
That was like DK Metcalf chasing down that one Arizona Cardinal player from like the end zone to stop, and they scored nothing. Nothing.
Yeah.
Well,
that play is going to be used for decades in the future, for effort.
Well, we bemoan the loss of Tubes, right? Alexander Tubner's not there, and Shea Oladipo had his best game of the season. Really filled that role.
Jeremiah Irby. He gets a game ball. Marco Notriani, he gets a game ball. I think like a game ball is for everyone.
I can't think of an ugly or a bad. Like that's how you win championships, is dominate a game. That's
why viewers, we're breaking our norm here, because it was just like a perfect night, great game. And like, is there anyone else we're giving away game balls here? Who would you give a game ball to, viewer? Like,
yeah, I want to know, because there's an argument for everybody.
There's an argument for everyone. So unless anyone wants to chime in with a game ball, let's move on to the meat and potatoes of this podcast here. Chris, you want to throw up that beautiful, beautiful graphic?
It's so pretty, guys. Look at this.
Oh,
yeah.
Look at that. We have number 1, Oregon, number 2, Georgia, number 3, your Boise State Broncos.
Let's go.
Number 4, Arizona State. That argument can be put to bed with SMU losing. Then it gets a little bit convoluted here, but you have Ohio State and Tennessee. They play to see who fights Oregon. Texas and Clemson. Thank God we don't have to play Texas. Texas and Clemson are going to duke it out to see who goes and plays Arizona State. Then it's Penn State, SMU to see who fights the Broncos. And you can already feel the smug coming from either Penn State or SMU. Like, we're basically just going to the semifinal.
There's already been comments,
There's already been that.
Davis can fight me.
Yeah. Notre Dame and India. I'm not gonna lie. This is probably the best bracket if I could draw it up. I think I'd put Indiana there, because I would like our shot against Indiana, but SMU, Penn State, I feel like we could match up pretty well against them.
Yep.
And
I think we had the best draw, honestly.
Yeah.
Of all the 4 bye teams, I think we got the best draw.
That is rock solid, but a little more Schadenfreude for you guys. Just a little bit more, just sweet, tasty Alabama tears. Roll, tears, roll.
Nick Saban's still
He's still yapping on ESPN.
Popping off on that show.
Yeah. They turned the cameras off. He's just talking.
Well, I was at the Blameyer with the players and everything, and he started talking, and they just turned the volume down.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like none of us want to hear what you're about to say.
Yep.
You know what, Chris? Take us kind of behind the scenes a little bit, because you were there. You were at that party today, and you were there for like the interviews, all that good stuff. Which, like, unsung hero of this podcast. This man is like delivering all this content for us. Like, shout out to Chris, our man on the blue. Thank you, Chris. We love you.
Yes.
No, it's it's my pleasure. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, so you got there. 10 o'clock was unveiling the announcements. So you get there, and they kind of have an area for the media, and the players are all hanging out. And the funny thing was that when the first 10 o'clock rolled around, they were on the wrong channel. We were watching NFL Countdown, so I had to figure that one out real fast. The announcement happened. Jeremiah Dickey spoke before, told the players how much he loved them, and he's just so much more hands-on than any other AD I've ever seen. It's just amazing. Kind of sang a little happy birthday to him there, and then you saw the reaction. I posted it. A ton of people did. The players were so excited, and then they went and got Wingstop. So that's a good morning.
Yeah.
Hey, did you guys see the Maddox Madsen Malachi Nelson like secret handshake?
Yes, I did.
I retweeted that.
That was amazing.
Oh, I didn't see that.
That kind of rapport between quarterbacks after the offseason that those two guys had, and the narrative throughout the whole season, just to see like just a genuine show of love between two teammates and a starter with a backup in that position under that much scrutiny. It
was elaborate. It was awesome. Yeah.
I loved it. But guys, I just realized, and I'm going to have to, this is a huge apology to our viewers, because I think we got the wrong bracket. I didn't see Colorado there.
Oh my God.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Oh no, viewers,
no!
I think.
Come on, man.
Where's Carter go?
We've
upset Carter so much by mentioning Colorado.
I do want to point out that Arizona State is a 4 seed, right? So Boise State got a higher seed than Arizona State, a team that won the conference that Colorado's in.
Yeah, Carter didn't even win the freaking conference.
Yeah.
Carter, I think we upset you so much that
apparently so. I think you upset my PC, because I was fine. But
you booted yourself out there. I'm not sure what happened there. But did you all see the almighty Travis Hunter talking about how he, using his own words, quit today? He quit. He's not going to participate in the bowl.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah,
he's surprised.
I just don't know how. Is this really the face you want of the Heisman?
He's gonna sit out his bowl game.
Said they'd have to pay him $5 million.
It feels like a Heisman that's going to be bought by Colorado in that Kardashian like hype train, as we've talked about. And
so I hate it.
I just don't like it. It's not a good look.
Heismans don't sit out their bowl games.
Yeah, because they're playing for championships, like the national championship.
Nice.
That was solid.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I'm just, I'm glad that we didn't make it. I've been known to make mistakes on this show, so I'm glad we just didn't get the wrong bracket, because I swore, with everything I've been hearing, Colorado was going to get the number 1 seed with a first and second round bye, maybe a third round bye. Just been hearing all that stuff. I'm glad I didn't miss that.
Yeah. And all right, let's go straight to the natty, right? I thought.
Yeah, just buy straight to the natty.
They get a 3 touchdown lead.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, some other interesting little tidbits about like this bracket. And one team that I'm really interested to see is actually Georgia, which I know we are a very SEC negative podcast. Like we have a strong West Coast bias. If you play east of the Mississippi, like we don't even know who you are. But Georgia lost Carson Beck in the fourth quarter of their game against Texas. And that was a pretty it could be shoulder, could be elbow injury. I didn't fully see it. I'll have to go back and watch highlights.
It looks pretty nasty.
Yeah.
It's like an elbow, in my unprofessional opinion.
Well, I didn't even see. All I saw was him on the sidelines, and they like briefly showed the play. I couldn't quite see it. But
My PC. Why is this happening right now?
right in the middle.
Somebody mess with this. It sucks. Anyways, sorry.
You're back and you're blue.
Yeah, figured it out. Whatever.
Well, we were just talking about the Georgia quarterback, and I'm just shocked that the committee put Georgia in the playoff when they are going to be using a backup quarterback. Like, I feel like Florida State should have something to say about that.
Well,
yeah,
they won their conference.
So they had to get in. But
Yeah.
it's 2-seed.
Yeah,
No, because the precedent set last year, I know this is the first year with the 12-team playoff, but the precedent last year was if you're missing dudes, you're gonna get penalized for that. Right?
Yeah.
which I
So
thought
maybe
was
they
a
should have
garbage
a 4
point of
seed.
view.
Yeah.
Anyway, but
Yeah. So they get the number 2 seed, and they're without Carson Beck, and their freshman made a very bad interception. So I don't know. It's gonna be very interesting. Or is he
See,
freshman, sophomore? I don't know.
So Carson Beck came back on the field for the last play. Do you think they did that just so?
No, I
back.
think he took didn't the backup take a shot to the head and he had to come out?
Is that it? Okay,
I think Carson Beck only came in because he had to.
Okay,
I'm pretty
'cause
sure.
I was watching it on mute, so maybe that's what happened, and I didn't hear that. But I was like,
could be wrong, but I think the backup QB got like his dome taken off, and they're just like, Carson, go out there and hand the ball off real quick.
Gotcha.
Carson Beck has the face of a man who went to USC and the tattoos of a guy who went to Fresno.
Damn, that's tough.
Yeah, that's
Poor guy.
That's rough.
That's incredible.
He's not a good looking man.
Should we really be throwing stones, fellas? Come on now.
Probably.
Oh, you know what? If Carson Beck hears this, then he can come talk to me.
Well, you know what? You can't throw a stone at Carson Beck, or else his dad will sue.
Exactly.
Oh.
So no, yeah.
Whoa.
Okay,
If Carson has a problem, he can come talk to me.
You'll end up with more bruises, Carter.
I will. I'll actually deserve them because I don't know how these ones got here.
All right. Well, gentlemen, before we get to that Penn State SMU, are there any other interesting matchups that you can and throw up that bracket? Are there
1 second.
any other intriguing matchups that kind of catch your eye?
That Texas Clemson Orange matchup is going to be an awful for my eyesight.
Oh, yeah.
That's gonna suck.
Just turn down your color on your TV
yeah.
for that one.
Yeah.
That's going to be hideous.
I'm really interested in the Notre Dame Indiana game because Notre Dame had a bad loss to Northern Illinois, but they look better. Indiana, I mean, they got blown out by Ohio State, but I think Ohio State's better than Notre Dame. Like, I think Indiana has a chance, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm actually really interested in Ohio State, Tennessee, because like at the very beginning of the season, I'm not sure if I said it on the podcast or in casual conversation with some of my other friends, but I was like, I honestly think that Ohio State was going to win. Like I had picked Oregon to lose the national championship to Ohio State in this Big Ten kind of rematch scenario. That's not going to happen, but Tennessee is no slouch. That is a very good Tennessee team, and I'm very interested to see how that matchup plays out.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I mean,
Oregon
I've seen some people.
Could be fun. A rematch could be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I think I saw an Alabama X account complaining about how like, oh, these beginning games are going to be so mid or whatever. It's like if you don't like extra postseason college football, it's like why do you like the sport? I'm so excited to watch all of these games because these are usually games. Yeah, these are games that have never happened before. It is so exciting to see.
Well, and one thing we're not seeing that I was excited for potentially happening is there's no warm weather teams playing first round games in cold weather cities.
Yeah.
Right. It would have been hilarious to see USC have to go to, whatever it may be. But it's
Wisconsin.
Well, I mean, SMU has to go to Penn State. What's
Yeah.
Happy Valley looking like
Oh
right
yeah,
now?
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess we did get the one there.
Doesn't
And
Tennessee have to go to Ohio State?
Or is Tennessee
Yeah,
will have
Oh,
to
yeah,
go
I
to
guess there
Ohio
are a
State.
couple in there.
Yeah.
Something I would like to see going forward, and I don't know how real the possibility this is them changing so the second round matchups, the higher seed gets a home game as well.
Yeah, I would love that. Like,
It'd be a lot of fun.
give
would be
your
fun.
first round buys. Give your first round buys a campus game.
Yeah.
Is like that would be so cool, and it would mean so much for every single program. Like, I mean, we're thinking about this with blue tinted goggles, like Boise State hosting a playoff game, what that would mean. But just any program that gets to host one of those games, like the revenue for the city, the exposure, the everything. Like, I don't know if it earns any more money to have it at those neutral sites for the sport versus like a campus game. Whether it's promotions or bigger NFL stadiums, I don't know. Maybe it's more profitable, but like still, you're raking in the dough.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, anyways, well, let's get to Penn State SMU. What do you guys know about either team? And then let's talk about maybe how they match up against each other and maybe how they match up against Boise State.
Yeah.
I mean, I can go first real quick because I
Yeah.
watched. I don't know much about Penn State. I didn't watch Big Ten championship. I watched them lose at home to Ohio State, but I mean that's two perennial teams going at each other. So I don't really know what you can take from that. But SMU, I did watch last night against Clemson. They have a very fast quarterback. Very fast quarterback. They also have a wide receiver move to running back that's also very fast. So I think they're very quick, almost like a go-go offense with UNLV, but just very high tempo. Also, just great fight. They were down to Clemson, I think, 21-7, 28.
Clemson had a 17-point lead in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and they fought back. So I mean,
We
SMU
talked about that game as being a possible upset with Dabo having that pedigree.
Yeah, I mean, so SMU, like, it's the 11th seed. It's because they lost, but I think people are giving Penn State too much credit. Like, I think SMU can walk into Happy Valley and definitely give them a fight.
Penn State is more of a defensive-driven team. Like, that offense has – I did watch Penn State, and that offense many a times has looked absolutely hapless. Now, they do have a top 10 defensive line, which honestly, we've seen a couple of those this year already. So it's not something that I think with our offensive line, as good as it is and as healthy as it is and as fresh as it would be, it's not something I think we would blink at too much, but it's definitely if we get Penn State, that's going to be a game where we're going to need Maddox to do more than he did against Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
But I think after
I'm checking their rushing defense numbers right now just to see.
I look at Penn State and their quarterback Drew Aller. He's inconsistent, I guess.
Oh God.
From what I saw, they do have, and I finally got his name, number 44, Tyler Warren.
Yeah,
a tight end, receiver, scat back, sort of.
He's the nightmare.
Put him all over the field. He's a stud. He's the kind of their go-to guy on those third and longs and those situations where they need to move the change or something. SMU, Kevin Jennings, that quarterback, he's probably the best running quarterback if we play them that we will have seen all year. He's a nightmare. He's tough.
So we really. Oh, go
sorry,
ahead.
I just saw the rushing defense numbers. SMU is 4, Penn State is 9.
Ooh.
So the break for everybody to get healthy, Genty, the offensive line, that's going to be huge.
Yeah. But yeah, seriously, I don't think we would. I just don't think we would blink against those really talented defensive lines. And SMU being number 4, I'm not trying to take away from that at all because that's a big accomplishment. They are clearly incredibly talented, but they did play a pretty rock solid non-con. But the ACC doesn't have a whole lot of running backs that are.
Yeah.
It's one of those where it's like, okay, how much of that was like competition versus talent?
Absolutely.
I was
the
about
first
to say, like,
SMU game. Go ahead.
No, go, Chris.
The first SMU game I watched this year was against Nevada, and they almost lost that game to the Fighting Chotes of Nevada. They are beatable.
Yeah.
I like.
SMU ranks 92nd in pass defense.
No, okay.
So
Okay.
Yeah.
I like what Carter said.
Abandon the run so they can throw the ball a little bit
Could be.
Yeah. I like what Carter said about the go-go offense. I think that is a very good comparison for SMU's offense. UNLV, SMU, that's a very similar offense. I think Hodgman Williams might throw a little bit better than Jennings, but Jennings is way more athletic.
He's a speed demon. He was running everywhere. That was crazy to watch.
Yeah.
He is.
Which did you hear we used, was it like a freshman corner? Is it Franklin? I can't remember his name, but we used the fastest guy on the team
to mimic Hodgman Williams for the
mimic.
Yeah.
That's
Franklin. What's his
Franklin Johnson?
Yeah. He played quarterback in high school, I believe.
That's good. Have a weapon like that.
I could be wrong there, but I'm pretty sure that he was this. I watched him do that, and he was pretty good actually.
Well, so just listening to you guys in this go offense point, what I'm hearing a little bit is that the game within the game that's going to kind of decide this matchup is SMU's offense versus Penn State's defense, because Penn State will score. They won't score too much unless SMU is really just a paper tiger.
Yeah.
Then it'll be ugly. But if SMU is as good as we think they are, which I did not mean, if there's any SMU fans watching, I was not trying to detract anything from SMU's run defense. I'd definitely say it's a top 25 run defense, but I'm not sure that they've had to go up against the run. Probably a lot more passing attacks with a very Big 12 heavy out of conference schedule, and then just the ACC being what it is. So not as many rushing attacks, except Georgia Tech maybe. But SMU's go offense against Penn State's defense. Penn State is going to rely on their defense because their offense is mid at best. So I think that's the game. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think Penn State's more physical. I think it's going to come down to how well Penn State's offense can function, really. I think, I don't know if we're going to do predictions here. I think Penn State's going to win.
Yeah, I personally, if we have the time, if you guys are up for it, I kind of want to predict like the bracket if we can. Like, let's have some fun.
Sure,
like,
we can go a little. I think honestly, it's going to be how SMU handles the Penn State environment.
Yeah.
Because I truly think SMU is underrated as a team. But if they do a whiteout, or if they walk into Happy Valley and that place is bumping and they crumble, it's going to be over in the first quarter, even if they start to fight back. Because I just think that place is just one of those places that you have to stay composed. And I don't know, but I'm assuming SMU has not faced an environment that is Penn State.
Yeah. No, it's definitely going to be a unique environment. I can't wait to watch that game, by the way. Like, I'm going to try and watch every single one of those games because they all just look like such fun matchups, and on campus, the environment. But that one in particular is the most important. But Happy Valley, like Tennessee going to the Horseshoe, ooh.
Yeah.
I just looked it up. Penn State Stadium has a 106,000 capacity.
Yeah.
That's because there's nothing to do in Pennsylvania.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's so.
Wait,
let's see. I'm going to look at SMU's schedule.
Whiteout, they swing the towels around. Carter's right. That could be in a crazy environment. And he did say, even if SMU starts to fight back, which is something they've shown they can do, and if Boise State ends up playing SMU, that's got to be a foot on the gas all 4 quarters situation for whoever's playing SMU.
Well, here, let's throw up the bracket one more time. Sorry, Chris, I keep making you do that. Let's go make our pick. Let's do the Boise State We're going to make our viewers wait for Boise State last. Let's start at the top. Ohio State, Tennessee. Chase, who do you got?
Ohio State at home. I know they their last home game didn't go so well for them, but I think Ohio State handles adversity and gets it done.
Personally, I am hoping for a snow game. I would love to see an SEC team playing in the snow. Just like get out of your comfy little cozy stadiums and get in some real football weather come December.
Absolutely.
Chris, Ohio State, Tennessee. Who you got?
Ohio State. I think the home field advantage, and I think they're just a better team right now.
And Carter?
Yep, I can't go against Ohio State right now in the horseshoe. I don't know how good Tennessee has been, but I feel like they're in that four sort of teams that beat one team but lost to another, and I just don't think they have the talent to hold up with Ohio State.
I'm not even doing this pick to be contrarian, but like I've watched a little bit of Tennessee. You're right; they do not have the talent that Ohio State has. I picked Ohio State to win the national championship, yet right now, just that underdog mentality, I'm picking Tennessee by a field goal.
Okay,
I will take.
Okay,
all right.
Tennessee by a field goal in a blizzard. They go in and they show that they too can play in the snow.
Do they fire Ryan Day in the locker room if that happens?
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's the quickest answer ever.
Yeah.
He is gone because he's lost to Michigan like 4 straight times.
4 in a row.
Yeah. So if he loses the very first home playoff game ever, he's gone because that's just not the Buckeyes standard.
Yep. Texas, Clemson. Chase, who you got?
I think Texas might be the best team in this bracket. I know they've kind of had a lot of things not working well for them, but I think Texas runs away with that one.
Chris, who you got?
I'm going the other way. I think Texas is playing their worst football right now. They are I think they're the most talented team, but they are not playing their best football right now. I'm going Clemson. Clemson's got some momentum, and I think there's going to be an upset. And
you're taking the pedigree of Dabo Sweeney on the big stage.
A little bit, yeah, I am. I'm going Clemson.
Okay. I don't dislike that pick either because they just showed like, hey, we are still Clemson. We can still do this. We can still find some magic. That's if you threw a little money on that pick and they won, you'd probably get pretty good odds on that.
Yeah.
Carter, who you got?
I'm going Texas. I mean, Clemson lost to South Carolina, who isn't even in the playoff, and I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure if Texas played South Carolina, but I know South Carolina was kind of an outside looking in the whole time. I mean, I'm glad Clemson got that 56-yard field goal to win, but I think the road ends here.
So you see, I was all ready to say, you know what, it's gonna be Texas in this game, but then Chris said Texas is playing their worst ball, and I remember I watched a little bit of like Quinn Ewers not throwing the ball so well, and it's like, there's something about Matthew McConaughey that makes me want to pick against him. So give me Clemson.
All right.
Let me throw something at you. People are saying Boise State has been playing their worst ball for the last 5 weeks, and we come out and skunk UNLV, roll them over. So, I mean, you could say that, but all it takes is one game to kind of lock in.
Yeah, no, give me Dabo Sweeney making McConaughey cry.
All right. That's a good image.
It is.
All right. Indiana, Notre Dame. Chase, who you got?
Man. In-state game. They never play each other, right?
This might be actually the best game because it is an in-state game.
Yeah.
And
weather's not going to be a factor. They're both cold weather teams.
Yeah.
It's at Notre Dame. You got touchdown Jesus doing his thing. Give me Notre Dame. I think it's going to be close. Yeah. I think it could be like a one possession game right at the end.
Home field advantage, I feel like this is going to be the most muted home field advantage because this, like you said, it's an in-state game. Indiana fans are going to travel well to this. It's going to feel probably the most neutral out of all of these sites. Like, even though, it's at Notre Dame Stadium, like, I don't know. These Indiana fans are going to turn up. Chris, who you got? Notre Dame, Indiana.
I know basically nothing about either of these teams. I have not really watched either of them. Notre Dame. Yeah, Notre Dame.
Okay. Carter?
I'm going to flip it. I'm going Indiana, and here's why. Lost to Northern Illinois. Only beat Miami of Ohio 28-3. Kind of went on a terrible run of playing Georgia Tech, Navy, Florida State, Virginia, and Army. I mean, those are just not teams. Florida State, worst season I think they've had in years. Navy, I think, was overrated. Army, I think, was overrated. They beat a USC team, a 6-6 USC team, 49-35. Anybody watching that game knows that game was a lot closer than that end score shows. I think Indiana is going to learn from the Ohio State game. They didn't have to play a conference championship game, so they're already healing. And so I just think Indiana's going to come out, chip on the shoulder, and I think Notre Dame is going to be able to handle it.
So I've got 2 words, Kurt Signetti. That he did great things at James Madison, came to Indiana in his first year, has turned around that program. Notre Dame is by far the more talented team that will take the field in that game. They have this game should probably be like the biggest blowout. But yet somehow I just feel like Indiana, they are so well coached. They've got the power of belief on their side. They're, like you said, they are going to learn from that Ohio State just punch in the mouth, like multiple haymakers from that Ohio State game. They're going to learn from that. They probably haven't slept since that game. Like, give me Indiana by a touchdown.
Attaboy.
Nice.
Yes. All right. Penn State SMU to play Boise. Who do you guys have? Chase, who you got?
All right. So one of my former principals, I'm a teacher, one of my former principals, he played football at SMU. He was a defensive end. He was there. He was a member of that team that right before they got the death penalty. And then he had to transfer, and he actually went to BYU, poor guy, is where he finished his college career. I am a huge fan of Kevin Jennings. I think SMU is going to find a way to get that done in a really, really hostile environment. I don't know. Just there's no logic behind it. I just have this feeling SMU is going to find a way.
Okay. Chris?
And I am not feeling all that confident in this pick. So it could be very much the other way. I think Penn State, because of that hostile environment, is going to win. They're going to out physical. They're going to run the ball. Although I just learned SMU apparently has a pretty good rush defense. Thank you, Carter, for that information. Yes. I'm going with Penn State. I think home field advantage, which I love in the playoff, by the way, is a big deal.
Yeah. Carter?
Yep. Chris kind of stole my line there. I think Penn State only wins this game because of home field advantage. Because, like I just mentioned, USC 6-6. They had to go to overtime to beat that USC team. They beat Bowling Green by a touchdown. They beat Minnesota by 1 point. And the Oregon game, they were pretty competitive. But I think neutral site, this is probably a 3-point margin for Penn State, and I would take SMU. But I looked at the SMU schedule. I think the hardest game they played was at Louisville. And I don't know the Louisville fans, but they don't have a stereotype of being loud. So I don't think SMU's ready for Happy Valley, and I think that's what's going to set it over. Is Penn State's going to get a solid lead. SMU will settle in, but it'll be too much too late.
Yeah, I just think that Penn State is going to rely on their defense, and it's going to slow down SMU enough. I think they're able – honestly, I think Penn State wins this game not because of anything the Penn State offense does. I think SMU might make a couple mistakes. They might miss a field goal. Something is going to go wrong because of what the Penn State defense does, and the Penn State offense is just barely competent enough to pull out a squeaker. Give me a 3-point win, Penn State.
Yep.
So, and then I guess we're all going to pick the Broncos over Penn State. I think that's pretty obvious. But tell me why you feel okay about Penn State versus the Broncos. Chase?
I feel like of any of the teams left that, we've seen some issues in Boise State's secondary, and they have a team outside of Tyler Warren, not a ton of weapons in the pass game.
Yeah,
I think it's a team that what they do well plays well into what Boise State does well.
Yep.
I think it's a great matchup for Boise State. I just feel confident with the momentum, with the coaches, and just kind of the makeup of each team, of both teams.
Yep.
The secondary just played their best game of the year.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Well, honestly, frankly, that's what I was going to say. Just talk about how the Penn State offense, they've got that one really tough weapon, which if we can get Tubner back, I just want him to go Cam Chancellor on that guy. But that's what I was going to say. Chris, anything else to add?
I feel good about it. I do think that's of all the teams I thought were going to make the playoffs, Penn State is the team I would have picked for the best matchup, honestly. I like Chase said, and we all kind of agreed, the defense is hitting their stride, whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
I felt like the defensive backs are starting to click in there a little bit. Jeremiah
Turning
Irby
their head.
turning his head a little bit, out of boy. And I loved Ben Dooley's quote today at his presser. He was asked, what's it going to be like to have Ashton Genty on 23 days rest? And he goes, well, not a lot of teams have seen Ashton Genty fully healthy, but the ones that haven't liked it. And I think that's going to hold true again. If he can run for that much against Oregon, he's going to be just fine against Penn State. So, in short, freaking healthy Ashton Genty. How about that?
There we go. Carter?
Yep. Not in Happy Valley. That's a big thing. Neutral site. I mean, we beat Oregon. We didn't beat Oregon, but we almost beat Oregon with a injured line. We got Roger Carrion back. We got Mason Randolph back. We faced top 10 rush defenses before. Oregon, UNLV, I believe, was 8 before we went for 200 plus on them the last game. So, I mean, you could argue Mountain West competition and all that, but top 10 rush defense is top 10 rush defense. Something tells me. Also, they're chronically like just the third place Big Ten team. They're always right there and then don't do anything. And I think that's just because James Franklin just doesn't have what it takes to kind of get past that. And I think Penn State rolls into this pretty
Always the
arrogant.
bride, never the bridesmaid.
Yep, pretty arrogant. And Ashton Genty goes off 200 plus and probably 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. James Franklin's the most big time coach I've ever seen in my life. I am not at all impressed with him.
I have never seen a coach be so well hyped and lose every well hyped game.
Yeah.
I can't think of the last time they won a top 5 matchup.
I would be more nervous for SMU, but I would still feel okay because you described their offense as the go, go, go. Well, we just saw that, and we know what to do. The question becomes, can we execute it? So
they go faster though.
Yeah,
they do.
They go way faster.
Really fast.
I would be more concerned about SMU. I think it's going to be Penn State. Now, the last question to you, gentlemen, is do we want to finish out our bracket or do we want to call it good here?
Let's save it for after we see who actually wins.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me. So, viewers, please, if you want, fill out your own bracket. Tell us if our picks were dumb. Tell us what not. Tell us who the national champion is going to be. I've got a feeling we're going to have a bias in the comments section.
Maybe.
But
100%. I can't bet against
it. It's possible. Yeah, honestly, I can't.
Well, without further ado, this brings us to the end of this championship, this college football playoff edition, your third-seeded Broncos, all that good stuff. The Bronco Country Roundup.
Beautiful.
Yes. Thank you so much for watching. Have a lovely night. Go Broncos.
Let's go Broncos!